Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to a new video. My name is Prince Meyson. Today we are going to be retouching this beautiful image shot by Cell Souls. I'll put a link in the description below to his Instagram page, and I would also put it on the screen, so you guys should go check him out. So I put up an Instagram story a while ago saying, you know, you guys can send me your images and I'll retouch them on YouTube, and this is something I would like to do often. So if you have images that you absolutely love, and you can send them, just send them to meysonstudios@gmail.com. I'll put the email in the description below too, and I'll put it on the screen. So just send me an email with those images and I'll check them out. If I absolutely love them, then I will retouch the images. Or if I see something different that I would like to show or teach, then I will definitely retouch those images on my YouTube page. So yeah, let's get straight into this image. Now, the first thing I want to do is just work with this image in Capture One. Now, this is Capture One and this is Capture 120. Absolutely love it. My favorite raw processing software for now. So, first thing I want to do is just drag down the highlights from her outfit. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because later I'm going to, increase the highlights in Photoshop, but I'm just going to drag that down and you can see, some wrinkles, and we'll see how and if we can fix these wrinkles in Photoshop later. That's another reason why I picked this image. I just feel like if I can work on these wrinkles and make them less visible, then it's going to be an even more beautiful image, right? So yeah, now that I've done that, I'm just going to drag my highlights in, and in my levels right here, I'm going to pull my shadows in just a little bit. As you guys can see, the blacks here are already crushing. Pretty bad, but it's fine. At least hair's always black, and we know that. So I can always bring that back up, but as you guys can see it, this is just how hair is. We don't want to do this. It has this HDR type look, so we are not going to do that. So I'm just going to leave this all the way at 0. So I love how it looks. I love the colors, and I am just going to leave it that way. And I typically don't do too much in Capture One, as you guys can tell with my other retouching videos. I do just a little bit, just enough in Capture One. So let's see it before and after. So this is after, and this is before, after, before, after, before. You guys can see the most important thing that I did here was just add a little bit of contrast, and also, I reduced how bright the shirt was because the highlights were clipping at that point. So I'm just going to turn off my before and after. Now let's see my exposure warning. You can see everything is properly exposed, and focus mask, the image is in focus, so I didn't have to check that. But yeah, so now we're going to take this image and edit in Photoshop just the way it is right now, and edit variants, and this is going to pop up in Photoshop. So now we are in Photoshop, but before we continue, please check out my digital store. Everything I'm going to be using to retouch this image, you can find there. I have my free frequency separation actions there. I have my free eyes and teeth whitening actions there. I'm just going to open my actions panel so you guys can see. And I also have some free lots there that you guys can download. Also, you guys can download my retouching essentials pack, which has 14 amazing actions that you can use to retouch better and retouch faster. So definitely check those out, because that's what I'll be using today. And I also have my skin tone lots for light skin and dark skin. So definitely check those out if you want to retouch better and retouch faster. That's what I'm going to be using in today's video. So let's get straight into this. Now, the first thing I want to do here is just reduce some things on the background. Like, I don't like this that's right here. I don't like this up here. And a few of the stray hairs here are a little bit distracting, so we're going to take that out. So what I'm going to do is duplicate the image, Command J on Mac, Control J on PC, and now I'm just going to pick my lasso tool and just pick this. It doesn't have to be this big, just small. I'm just going to select that, fill, content aware, and okay, and that has taken care of that. And I'm going to do the same for this. Fill, content aware, and ta-da, we have taken care of that. So this is our before and our after. Okay, great. Now we're going to take care of some of the stray hairs, not everything, just some of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick my spot healing brush, just come in here, reduce the size, and I'm just going to go over this to this point, and it should take care of that for me. Then same thing right here, it should take care of that, and I'll just do this till I get rid of everything that I don't want hanging out. So a lot of people use the clone stamp tool for this, but I just feel like the spot healing brush works a lot better for me personally, because with the clone stamp tool, yeah, it's just if sometimes you're just moving colors around, and I'll just rather use the artificial intelligence of Photoshop to have this done. So and it's a lot faster too. So like I said, we're not trying to take out the whole stray hairs, the ones that just look like they shouldn't be there at all. We're gonna take those out. Don't like this black spot right there. Okay, handle that. And you can come in and just work on the hair inside too. You know, the clone. I said not the clone stamp tool. The spot healing brush does a pretty good job when it comes to taking these stray hairs out. It is my number one go-to tool when I'm retouching hair, for the most part. So I'm just going to take all this out, make sure this place is just nice and black while not having any color shifts. Look at this long strand right here. I'm just going to take that out too. Take care of that for me. Now let's take care of this right here too. Take care of that, take care of that. Okay. So if we are spending this much time on a portrait, we're going to call it a high-end portrait retouching. Yes, I think that's what I'll put in the description. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, great. So you guys get the whole idea now. We're not trying to this is more of like a tutorial to show you guys how to do this, or how I would do this. So maybe I'll take more time if it wasn't a tutorial, but I don't want to waste you guys' time. Okay, great. So let's see what we've done. We've taken out most of the stray hair, as you guys can see. Looks a lot better now. We still want it looking real, so we don't want it just looking extremely sharp. You're just going to leave some strands right there. And now we are going to get into skin retouching. So I'm just going to use my layer 1 as my reference layer, and I'm going to create a basic frequency separation action. So I'm just going to click my basic frequency separation. As you guys can see, it's come up. The lower or how do I put this? Now, the further the person is from the camera, or the further the head is or the face is from the camera, the lower the radius I typically use. So for a portrait like this, I'll probably use a radius of 10. Let's see what this looks like. Let's just drag a face in here, and that is fine. That works perfectly for me. So I'm just going to click OK there, and now I'm going to zoom in. Just hold the Z tool or Z on your keyboard, and you can zoom in, and when you leave it, it goes back to your last tool that you've used. So now I'm going to pick my clone stamp tool. If you guys know anything about frequency separation, it is just separating your image into two frequencies. So you have one in your low layer where you have your colors, and you have your high layer where you have your texture. So your high layer is where all the blemishes, the pimples, the strands of hair, all those things, for the most part, they'll be in your high layer, and in your low layer you're going to have colors. Now, the reason why I use this to just remove blemishes is that it's easier, and with dark skin we tend to have a lot of variation. So I'd rather just use the frequency separation technique to remove blemishes. So now I'm all zoomed in, and I am using my clone stamp tool right here, and my flow is 100, opacity 100, and I am working with my current layer. So now I'm just going to bit away, make sure you're using a small brush, and just fix the blemishes. Now be careful so you don't smoothen out the face, because even though we're working with just the textures, we can take out a lot of the texture and everything just looks fake, so just be careful. Okay, great. So we are doing a pretty decent job right now. Now this is a portrait. You don't have to be as meticulous as working with a beauty image like a headshot. So we are not going to be doing too much right here with the portrait. And that's why I say in all my videos, then I end up going overboard. But hopefully, I feel like when you retouch for such a long time, you just don't want to leave any stone unturned. You just want to do everything, especially when you love what you're doing. Okay, great. So now we're just going to come to the nose and let's see how we can smoothen this place out just a little bit more. So I'm still using my clone stamp tool, still working on my current layer. I don't think I talked about how to use the clone stamp tool. You have to hold Option and sample somewhere close to the area that you are trying to, the blemish that you're trying to remove. So let's just say we're trying to take this one out here. So click Option, sample, and paint. So that's just what I'm doing. I'm just sampling and painting. So okay, she has quite a lot of texture around her nose, and that is something that I personally don't be liking personally. But if it was a beauty image, it would have been a lot closer and I would have tried my best to take out a lot of the texture around the nose. I personally just don't like when a part of somebody's face has more texture than the other parts. I do not love it. Like I said, if you're interested in me retouching your images, you can send them to Meyson@gmail.com, and I'll try and do one of these videos every week. Just try my best to make sure I get one video out every week. I need to get back to being consistent on YouTube. I have just been faffing around when it comes to YouTube and doing other stuff, but I absolutely love YouTube. I love creating content for you guys. Okay, so we are still removing the blemishes right here. I am using a bigger brush right now so I can be fast with this. I know some people will say I talk too much, but don't you just prefer listening to me talk instead of just watching this go on and on forever? Okay, great. I think we are good and we should actually stop now. Okay, just going to zoom in, go back to my clone stamp tool, and I'll take some of the hair around here out.
Yeah, ain't nobody better than me, cause they so confirm, and you just so calm, money so green, like we just stay farm, skin so smooth, like this stuff not done, no rhythm and blues for the night, girl, gin and juice for the right talk, so give me some booze till I can't tell if you were the cutie in the club that's in my bed. See, I'm joking, girl, but you want girl, so I'm money, girl, ain't no fronting, girl, had you wanted to, so get comfortable.
Okay guys, I'm back, and yes, I said I wasn't going to do too much, but you guys know me. I have done quite a lot already, and I would advise you do the same when it comes to retouching your images. Like, just that extra time you spend, the extra 1 minute, 2 minutes you spend looking at your image might just at the end of the day turn out to be what is going to might just be like the difference between an image that looks okay and an image that looks great. So yes, always put that back in your mind, and always zoom in and out when you are working with images like this, when you're removing blemishes, when you're dodging and burning, when you are doing frequency separation with the mixer brush tool or anything that you're using. Just make sure you are going in and out of your image just to see how it's going to look when other people are looking at it, because for the most part this is how people are going to view this image. They are not going to be viewing this image like this. So yes, this is just for us to remove all the things that I want to take out. So I feel like her bags are quite huge, but those are not bags. I just like the lines under the eyes. I feel like they're like too obvious, so I'd like to take that out. Don't want any of that here. Okay, so great. This is what this looks like right now. So let's see how before and after. No, this doesn't seem like a lot, but if we zoom in, you guys can see the before and after. Okay, great. So now that we are done with this, what are we going to do? I'm just going to put this into, I'm going to merge it into one layer, right? Command E or Control E on PC, Command E on Mac, and I'm just going to name this blemishes, right? So I'm done with that. Trying to keep the layers as organized as possible, even though I don't do that when I'm retouching my own work. But okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is just create, I think I'll create a complete dodge and burn. So let's just create the complete dodge and burn. Now for an image like this, you can definitely get away with just frequency separation. You don't have to go in and do micro dodge and burn, but that's what we're going to do right now. So just go to my invert check layer right now, and I would just go to my levels and just drag my levels down just a little bit. So somewhere around here is fine. And now I'm going to pick a brush and come down to micro dodge and burn. Now I'm just using a normal soft brush, and I'll take my flow all the way to 1 and my hardness 0. And for size is relative, it depends on the area that I'm working on. So make sure that my foreground color is white, and remember this is burn and this is dodge. So dodge is just lightening up your image, and burn is darkening up your image. So you lighten and darken your image to get the image to look pretty even. That is the whole idea of dodge and burn. Now the invert check layer is for me to see exactly what I'm doing, right? But when I invert it, I change my, look at it, I changed the dark parts of my image to white because it's inverted. But it's pretty simple once you get the whole invert check layer thing going. What I typically do is at this point I just burn the blacks because the blacks are the highlights, and I dodge the whites because the whites are the shadows. So anything that is looking black when I invert my when I use my invert check layer, I'm just going to burn, and everything that looks white like this I am going to dodge. That's the whole idea. So I'm going to start with burning and just fixing up some of the highlights, right? So somewhere around here, I'm just going to come in, fix some of this right here, like this. Get that dodge and burn action going right there. Okay, so let's see what we've done there. You guys can see we fixed some of that already. So I'm going to go back to my dodge and just, so the whole idea is just evening out the subject's face, right? That's the whole idea. And it might take some time, but you know, after a while you're just going to get this going. Now for this image, like I said, you don't have to dodge and burn. It is just me going the extra mile. I typically just like to dodge and burn my images before I do frequency separation. Frequency separation involves moving colors around quite a lot, and I try to limit how much I'm moving the colors around my subject's face. So this is where we are at right now, and I'm just going to continue till I have this looking the way I want it to look. So I'm going to fast forward the video now, and I'm just going to get into dodging and burning, micro dodging and burning, macro dodging and burning, whichever one you call it, whatever works for you.
Yeah, say why you sitting in the corner? Everybody here, let's stand up. Yeah, we go party to the sun up. We go dance to be done up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we gon' be alright. Everything gon' be alright. And you gon' live your life. Everything's gon' be alright.
Say why you sitting on the, everybody vibing to the rhythm body. See the girl gonna booty on me. I feel not the rapper off like goody honey. I like the way she press me like a PS controller.
Okay, great. Now we have done a little bit of micro dodging and burning, and I'm sure you guys can see the difference. So let me show you the before. This is the before and this is the after. If you guys can see, there is this like line that comes down her face, and we have reduced how much that is prominent, right? So this is before, this is after. Now it is not perfect, and this is because for the most part it is a like a portrait image, and with portrait images there is like so much that you can do with micro dodge and burn. I prefer using like I said, the frequency separation, but I just do micro dodge and burn before I use frequency separation, because frequency separation is moving around a lot of colors, and I want to move as little as possible when I am using frequency separation. So now what we are going to do is we're just going to delete this second micro dodge and burn because we're not going to need that. So this is our main micro dodge and burn folder. So what we're going to do right now is create a stamp visible layer. So Command Option Shift and E, Control Alternate Shift and E on PC. So now that we have created the stamp visible layer, what we are going to do is run our advanced frequency separation. Now, if you do not have my frequency separation, like I said, you can go download it for free, or you can get the whole Retouching Essentials pack. Just depends on what you want. So now we are going to run advanced frequency separation, yes. And I'll pick a radius of 10 again and click OK. And now we have this sorted out. What I'm going to do is pick my mixer brush tool and just get in there and just work. So now my mixer brush tool, I'm just going to be as careful as possible. Please remove sample or layers if you have that ticked. Just going to work and just even out some places. Now with my mixer brush tool, please remember that I'm working with my low layer and not the high layer. I'm working on where the colors are. Okay. Just going to fix this up. There isn't so much to do with the hands. The hands look fine and great, but let's just touch that up a little bit. And let's see what we have done with our low layer. You guys can see, fix the way the light was at that point, and it looks a lot better now. Okay, great. So the next thing I am going to do is go to my high frequency layer and just go in, and if there are any other things, like I still don't like that there are so many textures around here, so I'm just going to take a lot of textures here out, and now it matches, I think, quite well with this side. I'm just going to take some of this out too. Okay, so now we are done with this. Now remember the dodge and burn that we created earlier. I'm just going to pick my global dodge and burn right now. Pick a brush tool. I am going to be dodging and burning. Now the difference between micro dodge and burn and global dodge and burn is that micro dodge and burn is basically evening out the skin tones with dodge and burn. So basically what I'm going to be doing is dodging the dark parts of the image and burning the bright parts of the image. That is what micro dodge and burn is. Global dodge and burn is enhancing the features with dodging and burning. So that is basically contouring and highlighting in makeup, but you're doing it in Photoshop. So I'm just going to take my flow up to 3% because that's what I typically do, and I'm going to turn off all my layers because I want to see where the highlights were exactly on the original layer. It's just a trick that I use all the time. So but typically where your highlights are and your shadows are, or for your highlights, it's typically just the forehead. So I am going to add some highlights on the forehead right now. And we'll have some right here, and we'll have some right here. So this is just me freestyling, and we have some under the cheek, and we're just going to fix some of the highlights on the body right here, down, then some on the hand, just random ones right now. Okay, great. So let's turn on frequency separation. Let's see what that looks like. So this is before and after. Yes, we have that highlight action going on right now. So now I'm going to turn that off, and I'll go to my burn, and I'll do the same thing. For burning, contouring is typically just the side of the face, enhancing that, then the nose. As you guys can see, I'm not all zoomed in right now. Then the nose, and you know, the collarbones right here, and some of the shadows. So we're just burning the shadows and dodging the highlights. That's what we are doing for this one. So let's see what this looks like. So let's just go to the beginning of our image and see where we started from. So this is the before and this is the after. As you guys can see, it's quite subtle, but you know, it gets the job done. So I'm going to go back to my dodge right now, and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm just going to work on some highlights like this one's right here. So this brings the beauty of your image out, right? And then there isn't like a lot, you know, there isn't so much I can do about the net right here and how it's showing. So I'm just going to leave it that way. Okay, so that's our before and our after. Got that dodge and burn action going on. And what I'm going to do right now is just create a levels adjustment layer. Hold option, alternate, dragging my whites and just pulling my blacks just a little bit. 1, that's fine. Okay, great. So I'm just trying to add some contrast to this particular image. So let's see our before and our after. And it looks pretty damn good at this point. So now I'm going to create the stamp visible layer again. And after creating a stamp visible layer, what I'm going to do is create a curves adjustment layer. And I'm just going to lift my curves up, probably to somewhere around here. And that is fine. And I'm going to invert that and pick a soft brush and just go over her top. Just go over this. Now, I don't know if this is the best way to go about evening out the tones, evening out the creases on your subject's outfit, this technique, because it takes away texture, honestly, but for the most part it works. So let's see if I can do a pretty decent job right here. So now I'm just going to take some of these out so that it's not spilling. I got some in here, so just pick a white brush and sorry. Okay. Don't worry, we are not done. We're still working on it. Okay, so now what I am going to do is just create a new layer, just an empty layer. Pick my mixer brush tool and just sample all layers. And I'm just going to work gently and remove some of these creases right here. Just be really careful about it. Now, like I said, I don't know if it's the best way to go about this, but it works, you know, for the most part. So now we're going to take this crease out. Let's take some of these out right here. this is something that I would definitely look into and figure out the best way to actually go about this. But for now, this technique works for me. And if you have any issues, now I don't know how well this is going to work on an outfit that has a lot of textures. That's yet to be seen. I haven't tried that out, so we'll see. So let's see our before and after. We've removed quite a lot. This might just be a lifesaver for you one day. You never can tell. It might just sort out one really rumpled outfit that you have from a client. But like I said, it doesn't maintain the texture, and that's my biggest problem with it. So now I'm just going to reduce this just a little bit more. And let's put this in a group and see how well we have done with removing creases, right? So this are before and this are after. We've done a pretty decent job. I know it looks too bright right now, so I'm just still going to reduce this, right? And let's see what we've done before, after. Done a pretty decent job. I'm going to reduce the opacity of this too, or maybe somewhere around here is fine. Okay, great. Just gonna leave it the way it is right now. So let's see our before and our after. You guys can see we've done a pretty decent job to this point that we are at. So now I want to whiten her eyes, so I'm just going to run my eyes and teeth whitening action right here. Okay, great. Come down to the photo filter, pick my brush, and I am just going to whiten the eyes. Best action for whitening eyes, trust me. Not because I'm the person that created it, because I learned it somewhere, but this is absolutely the best. Look at her eyes pop right now. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, great. So now that we are at this point, what I'm going to do right now is just color grade her skin a little bit by using my skin tone LUTs. So let's get into that. Color lookup. I think, okay, so now that we're here, I think 4 is going to work perfectly. Let's see. I'm not sure. 4 looked, oh, I put that in the wrong place. 4 looks really good on her skin though. I know it's affecting the background a lot, but we can just paint it into her skin. 4 looks absolutely gorgeous on her skin. Let's try something else. Let's see what 6 will look like. I love 6 too. Pretty subtle, but gets the job done. Let's try 5. Let's see what 5 looks like. No, not too much 5. Let's see what 2 looks like. I love 2. I really love 2. 2 works. 2 looks good. It has this chocolate feel going on. I think what I'm going to do is go back to 4. And just paint it into her skin. Let's see how that looks. Command I, and we're just going to paint this into her skin. Okay. And now we can reduce. It looks really good. Okay, I love it. We can reduce the opacity and also go back to my actions and run my rich tones actions. Yes, reduce the opacity of this too to somewhere about 10, and maybe just give a gentle curve just to brighten her up a little bit. Okay, and that is about it. This looks like the best corporate picture you can ever take. Even though that's like too much chest for a corporate picture, but you guys get the whole idea. So let's see before. This is where we started. Just gonna try and fill the screen up with this. This is where we started, and this is where we are at right now. So this is the before and this is the after. So you guys can tell I did not remove the texture from the back of the image because I absolutely love how the textures look before and after. So I'm just going to save this, Command S, Control S on PC, and this is going to go back straight into Capture One. So we're going to go to Capture One, and I'm just going to add a little noise to this image because for some reason I have just been experimenting with putting noise in my image. Yeah, someone told me to. And I am absolutely loving it. Just adding some more texture to the image. So once this is done saving, I'm going to see you in Capture One, and we can add some little noise to the image. Okay guys, so we are back in Capture One, and this is the before and this is the after. Look at that, before and after. Before and after looks absolutely gorgeous. Luma curve. You guys know I like my Luma curve. I absolutely love my Luma curve. So I'm just going to add some, yes, just a little bit, nothing too much. Let's just drag this down. Let's see our before and after with Luma curve. So this is our after and this is our before, just a little bit more contrast. Yep. Okay, great. And now we are going to go into sharpen and grain. Let's see, what are we going to use? Let's use harsh grain. Just going to zoom in to see what I'm doing and just add a little bit. Maybe somewhere around 10 works. Let's see our before and after. Okay, works. Look at the background. It looks gorgeous. Okay, great. And that is about it with this image. That is all we are doing. I'm going to show you guys the before and after again. This is the before and this is the after. If you guys absolutely love what I do, please subscribe to this channel. Also, like I said, check out my digital store. Have some amazing things that will help you retouch better, retouch faster. And if you want me to retouch any of your images, if I absolutely love them, just send them. And if I love them, I will get on YouTube and make a video retouching your images. You can send the raw files to Meyson@gmail.com. Meyson Studios, I mean, to meysonstudios@gmail.com. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video. Big shout out to I Sell Souls for sharing this image with me. I hope you guys are looking forward to episode 2 of I Retouch Your Images. And have an amazing day. Peace.